Welcome back to JT's Date Night, Episode 3. Last week, we wrapped up the Chicago mission, which became a bust as Cardiff was a no-show. Then, we found out Stuttering John blocked Cardiff Electric, which started the hashtag unblock Cardiff moment. Now, you had many choices out there tonight, but you chose to be here with me. So thank you. What do you say? We begin the show. Oh, hey. I didn't see you there. Hope you like to go bowling. Figure we switch it up this week, you know? So, what do you say we come inside and knock some pins around? Oh, hey. Yeah. One lane, please. No bumpers this time, alright, buddy? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do need shoes. Thanks for asking. I take a size 11 and a half. Hope you brought some clean socks over there. You go ahead, get your shoes. I'll grab my ball. All right, what lane are we on? Lane 7? It's my lucky number. All right, I'm gonna go over here and set up our scoring interface while you go pick out your ball. And while you do that, let's say we listen to some reviews by Cardiff Electric on WATP.
And Vic is nowhere to be found, so Cardiff Electric, are you there, buddy?
I am here. How are you?
I am well. Cardiff, don't you have a day job or something? What are you doing?
I have many jobs.
I know that you run a whole podcast network, but still.
We're actually doing construction on the studios right now.
Okay. I'm sure Joe Rogan's excited to get in.
Why did you change the show to Friday?
Because I'm going on vacation. I'm flying to Charleston, South Carolina with my lovely wife and Andy and his lovely wife. And we're going to have a little vacation down there.
That sounds gay.
Good point. Did you have reviews you wanted to read for us since Vic is MIA?
I do.
Great.
Our first review from the internet. Big yawn. Cool concept. Horrible execution. This podcast, equivalent of the fat and out of shape guy criticizing the fit bodybuilder's technique. 1.
Oh, you're doing the countdown. I think it's a 1-star review.
Yes, it is.
God damn it.
Hashtag, our next review from the internet. Hashtag, Carl farted. At 56 minutes and 37 seconds of the Song versus Song bonus episode, the nervous chuckles give it away.
I'll have to listen for that. I was unaware.
1, 2.
That's a 5-star review. It's because it's a bonus episode.
That is a 5-star review.
Yes!
Fortunately.
Crushing it today. Well, why are you rooting against me, Cardiff? I promote your show more than anybody.
That's what you call it. The next review,
Go ahead.
No. Sorry.
the next review from the internet. Meh. Giving it another chance. Listen to...
Are you playing the bass over there? What's going on? Why are you playing a bass guitar?
Okay, I guess now everybody knows who I am. I'm the original face splitter from the isotope.
What?
I'm coming back.
Jesus Christ.
What's going on right now? I've lost all control. All you had to do was not play the bass during the segment. We never would have found out. You just couldn't help yourself.
Huh?
All right, Cardiff, anything else you wanted to say before we hit some voicemails here?
Ripcord.
Get another chance. Listen to the first 280 episodes. And it hasn't gotten any better since day one. Let's see how next week goes before I make my final decision. Finally, doing Dave and Chuck might sway me.
Very good.
1, 2,
That's a 5-star.
3. That's a 5-star.
Very good. All right, I like those 5-star reviews. Thank you. Keep those coming, people. I appreciate it.
Vic sucks.
Vic sucks.
1, 2,
Oh, that's a review.
3. That's a 1-star.
Vic, goddamn you! Did that come from you, Cardiff?
No, that's on the internet.
Okay. You're on the internet. All right. Very good, sir. Thank you for coming on without us coordinating ahead of time. That's the great Cardiff Electric from the Cardiff Electric podcast, everybody.
Kind of got cracked up there. I don't know.
I know. I
what's
think you
going
broke
on.
character a couple times. I haven't heard that before.
Character? What are you talking about? Character? What are you talking about, Carl?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened. All right.
That's weird.
So,
Weird.
Oh, hey, hope you got that wall you're looking for. Now, make sure it fits good. You don't want to get a blister today. You know, I take bowling kind of seriously. But yeah, we just heard, allegedly, Cardiff, formerly the first bass player of the Isotopes, filling in for review girl Vic with some reviews for the show. Now, was that Cardiff or wasn't it Cardiff? Well, we're going to find out as we listen to the Cardiff Electric podcast from October 18th entitled Fake Cardiff on WATP. Now, watch me get a strike here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Hey, it's your old pal Dr. Steve from Weird Medicine, and you're listening to the world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Substandard podcasts like the one you're listening to now? Well, we have a cure for your podcast needs. The world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast is available now on Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Cassette, and everywhere else you listen. Enjoy laughs and thought-provoking talk on the Cardiff Electric podcast. Also buy a shirt or a mug. There.
Hello, and welcome to the Cardiff Electric podcast, the most famous podcast on the internet today. A lot has happened in the Cardiff Electric world over the last few weeks, and I thought it would be a great time to put out an episode to update the SJ Army. Please note that we are still running the hashtag UnblockCardiff initiative, so please use the hashtag UnblockCardiff on all your social media posts to raise awareness and to help unblock Cardiff. Here's today's update for the Cardiff Electric Podcast News Network. Recently, on a competing podcast hosted by Carla, there was an appearance by what was called Cardiff Electric, playing the bass guitar. I am here to say categorically that was not the Cardiff Electric podcast. That was a fake Cardiff Electric podcast. Please note to all the fake Cardiff Electric podcasts on the internet today that you must cease and desist immediately using the Cardiff Electric trademarks, names, and sound effects. That was not the Cardiff Electric podcast. In other news, the Cardiff Electric podcast is currently on a brief hiatus. I'm on vacation with a friend of mine and his wife in Charleston, South Carolina. We're having a wonderful time. You should come here and check it out. There are some great things to do here. Here are some things to do in Charleston, South Carolina. Middleton Place, Joe Riley Waterfront Park, Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge, Fort Sumter National Monument, McLeod Plantation Historic Site, Battery and White Point Gardens, Nathaniel Russell House, Old Exchange and Provost Dungeon, South Carolina Aquarium, Magnolia Plantation and Gardens. Those are the top 10 things to do in South Carolina. Also prostitution. Today's show has been brought to you by the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network, home to some of the most famous podcasts on the internet today, like the Cardiff Electric Podcast, The Karloff, Whom Are These Podcasts, Strange Medicine, coming soon, the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network, the only podcast network you'll need. Let's take some calls from our listeners on the internet.
Judy, would you like to say something?
No, I've been dissed. You're on your own.
Okay, well, John is like a broken record who keeps playing the same tune. Every podcast is about how much he does not like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's no longer president. Get over it. And the same tune also is because he has the same guests over and over and over. Richard Ojeda, Hal Sparks. Richard Ojeda, Hal Sparks. Why didn't he just quit the show and give it over to Richard Ojeda and Hal Sparks? John doesn't even have to show. In fact, it'd be better if he didn't show.
You ready?
Yeah. I was asked by a troll today, why does John get so upset every time somebody mentions the house that he used to own in Calabasas with his ex-wife? Well, he got rid of that house in his 2012 divorce settlement. Since then, the house has gone up in value steadily. In 2019, however, to 2021, the value of that house spiked. It's worth well over $2 million now. And every time John thinks about it, he knows he's lost over $2 million. That's $2 million he no longer has. He's very upset.
Cardiff, it's clear that John's hate and his nefarious ways have blinded him from the truth. So I think the only way you're going to be able to get unblocked is if you make a Stuttering John account. because he's never going to block himself. He's a lot like Trump. Or, I don't know, maybe I guess he can make Cardiff Electric too. Either way, you'll figure it out. SJ Army out.
On Thursday's show, Stuttering John did something after his Bet Online commercial, something he never does. He said not only is he an avid gambler, but on tonight's show, he said, I'm betting on the Buccaneers giving up 6.5 points, meaning the Bucs have to win by 7 for Stuttering John to win his bet. Well, the game is over, and the Buccaneers won by 6 points, meaning Stuttering John is a loser. He lost his big bet on the Thursday night football game. Figures. He's a loser. Have you noticed how John screws up his bookings about a third of the time? He has no producer, he has no booker. So for the Saturday show, his first guest was supposed to be Melissa Jo Pelletier, and she didn't show. John wondered for about 5-10 minutes where she was. And then he goes back to his default guest, Army Major Richard Ojeda. He may as well be a permanent co-host. And Ojeda has nothing to say except that he hates Trump, and John agrees. It's getting monotonous. Very monotonous, John.
I know that you're my buddy Oscar, and I love you more each day. And you always make me happy, and that is why I just have to say, lead on, but don't get attacked. Lead on, right in the back, yeah, lead on like Daddy does every time he goes to work. I lead on. I sit there, I do the job, I bring home the freaking check, and then we pay bills, and then I had to have 3 kids, and then I gotta change your diapers, and then I gotta take you bowling, and then I gotta take you to Chuck E. Cheese, and then I lose my sex life, and then I can't watch football. No, I gotta go out and go take you guys to the petting zoo. What do I want with a petting zoo? I'd love to get some petting myself. Ever since your mom gave birth to all you kids, I'm doing nothing. I'm getting nothing. Look at you. You're just happy sitting there, and I gotta do everything. Oh, you gotta worry about what Lego block you want to attach. I gotta worry about where my next paycheck is coming from. Try and go through that. That's not easy. It's not easy being me. You see what I gotta do around here? I'm doing everything.
We have to go to the bat mitzvah. Did you forget? Oh, God.
Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide. Was that Cardiff playing the bass back then doing those reviews for Vic? You decide. Sorry you got that open frame in the first. It's alright though. There's still 9 more frames to get them. Remember last week we were introduced to the Carl off? A kind of take on the old creep off. Always vote for Vinny. I do. I mean, I'm sure you do too. As we all should. But, what do you say we listen to the Carl off episode 3 with a special guest? Huh. Well, you take a listen too. I got a strike to get.
Scary kids. You're listening to the Karloff Podcast, a podcast about the dangers of men named Carl.
Carl does not deserve to smell my shit.
have a special guest on this week's Karloff who has a terrible person to talk about. Go ahead, special guest.
David L. Andrews is my creep for Halloween this week. In 1977, he was arrested and later convicted in 1978 for criminal sexual conduct. In 1981, he was arrested for unarmed robbery. In 1983, this is in Michigan, by the way, where he's from. In 1983, Andrews escapes from the Grass Lakes Corrections Camp in Grass Lakes, Michigan, while serving a 10 to 15-year sentence for breaking and entering. So this guy was put in this correction facility. He got out in 1984, July 19th, 1984. Andrews was arrested in Miami County on a felony warrant for escaping from the Michigan Corrections Camp. Extradition papers never arrived from Michigan, and Andrews' girlfriend, Jean Ann Yackel, posed $10,000 bond for his release. Now, less than a month later, August 11th, 1984, Andrews marries Jean Ann Yackel.
Let me interrupt and stop you there. What is the name of this alleged criminal?
David L. Andrews.
It would seem to me that you did not read the show format to prepare for this episode.
This takes hours and hours. It's grueling work.
We focus strictly on Carls that commit murders, rapes, and other violent crimes.
I'll do that next time. Thank you.
Thank you for wasting my time and my audience's time. Please leave the studio now.
All right, it was an accident.
I'm sorry, everybody, but it would seem we don't have a Carl criminal segment for this week.
Oh, scary kids. Pull the string, pull the string. You're listening to the Karloff Podcast on the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit!
Hopefully we can make up for that disaster of a guest host that we had with our horror section for this week. We're just a few short days away from Halloween, so I thought I would explore a classic horror movie this week. The movie that I will explore is The Horror of Dracula. Released in 1958, it's 1 hour and 22 minutes, and it's received 90% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Here is my take on this movie. Trading gore for grandeur, Horror of Dracula makes an impressive turn for inveterate Christopher Lee as the titular vampire, and a typical Hammer mood that makes aristocracy quite sexy. That's definitely how I feel. You should watch The Horror of Dracula yourself. Be sure to leave us a voicemail and tell us about some of the great horror movies you watched over Halloween weekend, celebrating this wonderful event with your family. So let us know what movies you watched, and I will give you a review on another upcoming episode.
Oh, scary kids. Pull the string, pull the string. You're listening to the Karloff Podcast, a podcast about evil cars. Ooh.
Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit!
struggle for me to make this podcast for all the SJ Army. The response has been overwhelming. We're getting close to 3 million listens to our first episode, so thank you all. Let's go to the phones. And take some calls. Hello, Cardiff Electric Podcast. I just want to say this is the greatest podcast I've ever heard in my life. All of them. Thank you very much for your great podcast network. You've saved us all from listening to terrible podcasts.
Why won't John help his mom fix a hole in her roof? He seems to have plenty of money for gambling, plenty of money for beer. So why won't he help her fix the hole in her roof where it rains? Well, I can only come up with one answer. He's cheap. He's a tightwad. He won't spend a penny on anything except for his own vices. Oh, John, please help your poor mom out. Beginning October 12th, John did 4 podcasts from his mother's Massapequa home in New York. During each podcast, he humiliated and embarrassed his mother by pointing out she had a hole in her roof that was leaking rain. Don't worry, Mom, it's just a hole in your roof. And you could even see it on the video. John claims he's rich, but he doesn't have enough money to help his poor mom out by fixing the roof. It's embarrassing. John, fix your mom's roof. Forget about super chats. Put the money towards your mom's roof.
Cardiff. I think it's time that you review Stuttering John's podcast on the next episode of Whom Are These Podcasts? He's getting a lot like Trump, and I think it's time that you knock him down a peg or two. All right. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Electric, I'm hoping you're all right. Well, that stuttering John now, he's got my hackles up again. He needs to quit blocking me and let you back on whatever he's blocking you from. I'll tell you that. He ain't right in the head. I tell you, it's all them corn squeezing he's on to. I know he's doing it. You can tell. He's got the old rum fit, don't you know? Well, I hope you're all right. Thank you, bye.
Cardiff, I think if you want to get back in the good graces of Stuttering John, you should probably review his epic cinematic masterpiece, One Too Many. So yeah, do that.
Well, Mr. Electric, I was hoping you was all right. I ain't heard back from you, but I hope old Stuttering John, that old rascal, he's done unblocked you. Well, oh no, I gotta go. I've done sold my drawers. I'll call you back.
On Saturday, John's doing everything he can to squeeze money from his listeners. First, he lets them know he needs $5,000 to replace a veneer on his tooth, and he's switching dentists. Then, as soon as he says that, he says, and don't forget, folks, this is Super Chat Saturday. Everything's a Super Chat. Give me more money. I'll translate it for you. I need more money so I could get the listeners to pay for my teeth. He is one big moocher. He's the moocher of Canoga Park. Oh, my neighbor Sandy just walked in.
Well, hey, Gary, how are you today? But I have a question for you. Why in the world doesn't John fix the hole in his mother's ceiling? I mean, what's with that?
That's a good question. He seems to have plenty of disposable income. Income to gamble with, income to drink beer, income to Scrooge. He won't spend any money on his mother. On Saturday, John's doing everything he can to squeeze money from his listeners. First, he lets them know he needs $5,000 to replace a veneer on his tooth, and he's switching dentists. Then, as soon as he says that, he says, and don't forget, folks, this is Super Chat Saturday. Everything's a Super Chat. Give me more money. I'll translate it for you. I need more money so I could get the listeners to pay for my teeth. He is one big moocher. He's the moocher of Canoga Park.
Now it's time for bonus material.
Hello and welcome to the Cardiff Electric podcast. Who's on the line now to join us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who is this?
My name is Whaler. Hello, I'm a big fan of the podcast, Cardiff Electric podcast.
Welcome to the show, Whaler. I'm a big fan of whalers. How are you?
I am good. I just want to say that I am a big fan of Whom Are This podcast. Myself, I am not a native English speaker, as you might notice.
Yes, it's very obvious.
And I really appreciate a podcast who has English, where the words are said exactly right, and there are no problems with grammar.
We have mastered the English language here at the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network, and we feel it's our duty to pass that along to the less enlightened English speakers.
It's very often you encounter bad grammar in podcasts.
Very common. We see it every day. Actually, we hear it every day. Ha ha ha!
That was a good one.
Thank you, Whaler. So, where are you calling from today?
Sweden.
Is that in North America or South America?
Europe.
Somehow I don't believe you.
That is harder. I don't
Do
know
you
how
have
to prove it.
Do you have IKEA there?
I believe so.
Do you have meatballs?
Indeed. These are things Sweden are known for. I'm surprised you know it, since you didn't know about Europe.
So, tell me something interesting about you, Whaler.
I'm not sure there is much interest in Cardiff. Maybe I can ask you a few questions instead.
Highly unconventional, but I will accept it. Go ahead.
Well, Cardiff, you know me, I'm always looking for... Oh, you don't know me, because I didn't allow you to ask questions, but I'm always looking for podcasts. Do you have any recommendation for me who isn't your own, perhaps?
Yes. You can go to the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network. It's home to the most famous podcasts on the internet today, like the Cardiff Electric Podcast. Whom Are These Podcasts? The Karloff. Coming soon, Strange Medicine. We have lots of shows for everybody, whether it's medicine, true crime, grammar, or general topics.
It's a very cool network. Isn't Joe Rogan on it as well?
We actually just had to release Joe Rogan from his contract. He wasn't bringing the numbers that we need to keep this network going. He paled in comparison to the Cardiff Electric podcast.
Yeah, that's not the biggest internet. No, I got that wrong. You see, that's my English. I need a new episode of Whom Are This podcast.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
What I was gonna say, I guess he will have to fall back on his Spotify contract. That's also from Sweden. Isn't that fancy?
If you say so. Why did you vote for Donald Trump, Whaler?
Well, as a non-American citizen, you see, I couldn't, so I didn't.
That didn't seem to stop most non-American citizens.
Wow. The Russians, you mean?
Are you Russian?
No.
Are you sure?
Let me get my passport so I can double check. But I don't want to say I'm 100%, but somewhere there.
Is Russia in Europe?
Yes, partly. Moscow. And I mean, well, I don't want to bore your listeners, which is,
Too late.
Yeah, but Russia was also kind of funded by Sweden, if you think about it. Isn't that neat?
Not really.
Yeah, that's fair. I hope I'm not pissing off all your Russian fans.
What do you do for a living? How do you make money?
I work in tech, I suppose.
What kind of tech?
Well, how do you say? And you?
Are you a hacker?
No. I'm not paid by the Russian government to make people vote for Trump.
I'm very suspicious.
It seems you have all right to be. Oh, this isn't going.
Have you ever
well.
been to America?
No. I don't know what I would do in the States, I suppose. Do you recommend some place I should visit?
Yes. Rochester, New York.
Oh, what's there?
Well, nothing really. I think they have a mall and a school.
I think we have those in Sweden as well.
They don't have IKEA.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, you can't have everything.
What time is it in Sweden?
It's currently 20 minutes past 9. What time is it for you, Cardiff?
Let me just Google something.
Okay.
Sweden. You passed that test.
Oh no. I suppose Novgorod might be in the same time zone? No, that should be 1 hour ahead as well, because Finland.
What is that?
It's a city in Novgorod. It's like in the Baltic Sea. I'm sorry, I know this isn't Americans' proficiency, I suppose. I need another episode of Whom Are This podcast. That's not the word I was looking for.
I'll get to work on that right away. Are you a Patreon member?
No, I'm afraid not. The Russian government doesn't pay me well enough to support that.
Aha!
Oh no! I mean, you haven't heard of this company. It's not like IKEA. The Russian government it means totally different in Sweden, you see. It means computer.
You can't fool the Cardiff Electric podcast.
So what's the plan, Cardiff? Is this episode gonna be a lot of call-ins? I didn't know about this feature.
Do you know who Gary is from San Diego?
Oh, yes, of course. As a big fan of the Cardiff Electric podcast, biggest podcast on the internet today, I do listen and I do hear the Gary voice calls, and they always, very like a spark of inspiration for me, so to speak.
Yes, I'm trying to get.
Oh,
That's why I put this hook in the water.
it does seem to make sense. And instead, you got me. That's disappointing.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I suppose we have to. Well, I don't know. You can tell me when you want me to fuck off, I suppose.
I would never use that language.
Oh,
All
sorry.
I will ask, this is a G-rated show. All I will ask is that you use the hashtag #UnblockCardiff on all your...
Okay. Do you want me to add someone? Maybe we can get Biden to tweet about it if I go about it right. Oh, Greta, she's Swedish, right? She's a celebrity still in the States.
Who?
Greta Thunberg?
No, I know ABBA.
ABBA? Well, that works as well, I suppose.
Yes. Tweet ABBA, #UnblockCardiff.
Okay, I'm doing it right now. Do they have an official? It might be like Vemo or something. I don't know.
Just knock on their door and tell them.
I shall. You know that ABBA is a company that makes fish as well? That's crazy, right?
Yes. Okay, well, thank you for your time today. You have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Cardiff. Keep up the quality content, and I will continue not supporting you on Patreon. Bye.
Goodbye. Hello, and welcome to the Cardiff Electric Podcast.
Hello, Cardiff Electric.
Who is this? And welcome to the show.
This is Soft Weekly.
Why do they call you Soft Weekly?
It's a long story, but it's just a nickname.
We have time. Go ahead.
I'd like to thank Soft Weekly for that abrupt ending. I guess there was a bad connection on somebody's end there, but as you heard in the caller off there, Whaler from Europe called in. They gave a little interview on the podcast. But I am sorry about the 4-6 split you missed there in the third frame. You know, it happens to the best of us, but you know, I usually don't get those kind of, those kind of open frames. I normally like to hit the ball right in the pocket there between the first and the third pin. Therefore, it completely eliminates any chance of a split like that. But you're picking up good. You got I see you got that 7 open in a second. Hey, you know, there's still a lot of bowling left. But let's say we just move on to the next show, where we listen to a little bit of Cardiff's own origin story, as well as a break-in at the studio. Hit it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world-famous Cardiff Electric Podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Hey, it's your old pal Dr. Steve from Weird Medicine, and you're listening to the world-famous Cardiff Electric Podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Cardiff Electric, I am not unblocking you. You're a troublemaker. Stop telling Monique from Radio Gunk that I'm bad-mouthing her, because I'm not. I love Monique, and she's a friend of mine. You're a freaking troll, so just get lost, okay? I gave you your attention. You should be very happy. You could go jerk off later.
Let me start off the show by addressing the allegations made by Stuttering John Melendez on the last episode of his podcast. I have never spoken or communicated with Monique from Radio Gunk. I have never given her information about Stuttering John Melendez. These are lies and slander, and they will not be tolerated. Obviously, Monique from Radio Gunk is out to get me, and I will not stand for it. On this episode of the Cardiff Electric podcast, we dig deep. I tell a story of how my life was changed many years ago. So I would encourage you to grab a handkerchief, curl up in a warm blanket, and prepare to have your life changed, as the story I'm about to tell changed my life dramatically. The year was 2009. The place, Rochester, New York. I, Cardiff Electric, was already building a reputation as one of the greatest chefs in Rochester, New York. I was working in a diner one morning as I peered out the window of the kitchen into the dining area, and there I saw an angel, the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life, sitting at the counter. I asked the waitress which order is hers. I began to prepare the ham and eggs like I've never prepared ham and eggs before. When the dish was complete, I brought it out to the dining room myself and served this angel. I sat beside her and told her that I had prepared this for her. I looked deep into her eyes as she began to eat her breakfast. She looked up at me. I looked at her. You could tell that it was love at first bite. I had won her over with my cooking, as I had done thousands of times before with many other women. But this time was different. This was a special woman that I knew I would spend the rest of my life with. Over the next year, we traveled all over upstate New York, Syracuse, Rochester, even went a little west to Buffalo. It was magical. One night, about a year after we had met, we decided to go and watch some live music. We were back in Rochester by then. I had just secured a head chef job on West Henrietta Road. We decided to go and see some live music that night. I don't remember the name of the band, but they must have been new to the scene, as they didn't even have a singer yet. The music was average, but the company, that's what made my evening special. After the show, my love was feeling a little ill. So she went to the restroom while I waited outside. After about a minute, I was approached by a man in a skinny tie. He asked me if I had a light. I rustled around in my pocket looking for my Zippo lighter that she had given me. And as I was distracted, I was hit in the head by a guitar case. I was knocked to the ground and beaten by this gang of thugs. It was awful. The last thing I remember before losing consciousness was being kicked in the face by a clubfoot It was almost 3 years later. I awoke from my coma. The doctors at Rochester General Hospital never thought that I would regain consciousness. But my mother refused to let them pull the plug. I asked my mother, "Where is she? Where's Jen?" She just looked at me with a tear in her eye and handed me today's paper. The date on that newspaper is burned in my memory. November 2nd, 2013. And there, on the cover of the newspaper, was my love. And she was getting married that day to another man. That is why November 2nd, 2013 is the worst day of my life. I tried to jump out of bed to stop the wedding, but my legs didn't work anymore. It would be 4 months of physiotherapy before I could walk again. He took the love of my life from me. Now I will take away what he loves most. His audience.
Substandard podcasts like the one you're listening to now? Well, we have a cure for your podcast needs. The world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast is available now on Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Cassette, and everywhere else you listen. Enjoy laughs and thought-provoking talk on the Cardiff Electric podcast. Also buy a shirt or a mug. There.
Before we get to this week's calls, we have a very important announcement. Last week on the Cardiff Electric podcast, we announced that Gary from San Diego had won a prize for his great calls into our shows. Unfortunately, when I arrived at the Cardiff Electric podcast studios this morning, somebody had broken in over the weekend and stolen all our prizes. Stay tuned for more details how you can help us recover Gary from San Diego's prize.
The beginning of something so unexpected, something big, something very big.
England is on the lookout. It could be a family member, and you don't even know it.
Everyone a possibility.
All right, listen up, everybody.
But only one will succeed.
I want a hard target search of every gas station, warehouse, outhouse, and doghouse in this area. Pandemonium has taken over the Tri-Cities.
The Fugitive. The challenge. Find and hunt down the fugitive. The bounty. Cash. It could be anyone, anytime. Listen for clues weekdays on the all-new
Cardiff Electric podcast.
And write them all down. When you think you see the fugitive, ask this exact question. Are you the
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Fugitive? Follow the clues on the air. Build your case file. This will help you narrow down who the fugitive is and where they might be. It's the all-new
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Fugitive.
Folks, we have ourselves a fugitive.
Game on. Reality radio from the all-new
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Tri-City's #1 hit music station.
Hey, Cardiff, Gary in San Diego. I was thinking you could, for your audience, put out a recap of the death of Carl Alfalfa Switzer from Our Gang fame, who died in 1959. And it's an interesting murder. Also, I have my neighbor, Sandy, coming over later. She told me she's got a real good question for Stuttering John. I can't wait for her to get here. Talk to you later. Bye.
This is the fugitive calling with your first clue on how to find me and get your prizes back. You could find me limping around Rochester, New York with my club foot.
Well, Mr. Cardiff, that other feller that calls in all the time, I think he's right. I think that old stuttering John, he's cheap. He's as cheap as a possum, as a three-toed possum. He's cheap as a snake with a leg and a boot on its head. He's cheap as a crow that got five. Well, I don't know what a cheap crow looks like, but he's probably like that too. All right, he's cheap. I see you. Bye. Mr. Cardiff, I got to tell you, I don't like that stuttering John fella. He's mean and rude, and I don't think he's got all his marbles, if you know what I mean. I think he probably had a touch too much of them corn squeezings to do him no good. Well, I hope that you're doing all right and that he'll unblock you. I'm sure he will. Well, have you a good one.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe that I'm listening. Oh my goodness, Cardi E. Oh,
Just a Baja Blast with that.
The soda or the freeze?
No, just the soda. Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's it. No sauce.
Will that be all for you today?
Yeah.
Would you like any sauces?
No thanks.
All right, that's going to be $10.94 at the
Great.
window.
Cardiff, I was just thinking maybe it's time you extend the olive branch a bit to get John to unblock you and, I don't know, give him support him on Patreon or help him out on Super Chat Saturday. The DC trip is coming up, so he's going to need all the help he needs or can get. Yeah, I don't know. All right, call me.
Hey, Cardiff, it's November and it's crunch time for John. So far, he's promised to go to Washington, D.C. to question Republicans for the month of August. He postponed that. For the month of September, he postponed that. And for the month of October, he postponed that. Now it's November, and he guaranteed his listeners he would go to Washington. However, on Thursday's show, he's talking to Richard Ojeda, the Army major, and John all of a sudden realized November might not be a good month because there's a lot of holidays, like Thanksgiving. John's a real brainiac. He figured out there's holidays in November. So he's postponing it again. He says he may have to wait till December. He may have to wait. He's a complete mooch. Hey, Cardiff, Gary from San Diego. I'm calling about your special Patreon only episode. I listened to the whole thing. Thank you. And somebody at the end, probably a troll or a hater, imitated me saying I was on my way to Las Vegas with my wife Judy to see Stuttering John at the Tropicana Hotel Laugh Factory. Well, that was an imitation. I would never set foot in the Tropicana. That's the shoddiest hotel on the Las Vegas Strip and the oldest. It's a terrible hotel, and now I understand why John performs there. They probably aren't even paying him. It's a joke, a real joke. And anyway, thank you.
Hey, Cardiff. It's Gary from San Diego calling. Who's just listening to Stuttering John, and he's going to DC soon. I really believe he's going to do it this time. I'm just here eating sushi with Judy. Say hi, Judy. Hi, Cardiff. Anyway, really enjoying the latest episode of Stuttering John podcast. He's great.
On Thursday's show, Miser John told Richard Ojeda, I'm trying to figure out a way to get to Washington, D.C. and combine it with a trip to visit my 84-year-old mother in Massapequa, New York. It'll be a 2-for-1, and I could save a lot of money by staying with my mother, and if I could work things out just right, I'll be able to stay for free in Washington, D.C. with listener Mark P., because he's really gullible. That'll save me a lot of money if I could only figure out a way to do it. And then, like I said, Brainiac John thought, oh no, November's a bad time because there's Thanksgiving. I'll have to postpone it till December. Then he'll realize December has Christmas. He's now looking at 2022. What a jackaloon. Hey Cardiff, Gary from San Diego. I've been racking my brain. Why won't John fix his 84-year-old mother's roof? It's going to be the rainy season, and there's going to be a deluge in New York. Why won't he fix it? And then it hit me. Why spend $2,000 or $3,000 on mom's roof when she's not going to be around that much longer anyway? She's already 84. Why throw good money after bad? That's the way John thinks. He's cheap, and he won't help out his poor mother. Hey, here's my neighbor Sandy. Oh, I see you got new blue jeans. What's up?
Heck yes, new blue jeans and they're clean. Hey Gary, every time I'm over here, I have a question for you. So you told me that this gentleman John is traveling to Washington D.C. How do you think he's going to do with all of his crazy questions when he asks those of
Get to D.C. and stay there for 3 or 4 days to ask questions of Congress people. Let me continue this. Okay. Okay, to continue, he's got to be there for 3 or 4 days, 4 or 5 hours a day. And right now, he doesn't even have reservations, nowhere to stay. I think he's going to stay with a listener, Mark P. So I give that about a 20% chance of success. Part 2, he's got to hire a professional camera crew. I don't mean junior high school kids. I mean a professional camera crew with a boom mic and good audio visual equipment. He can't use an iPhone. That's not going to work out. And the most important thing, he's got to confront Congress people that are significant. Let me continue part 3 on this. Okay, so to continue, he's got to question significant Congress people, well-known people with crazy questions. McConnell, McCarthy, Ted Cancun Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Lowen Bovart, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Brigham Young, Gates, those kind of people. If he doesn't ask crazy questions of them, it'll be a total waste. So I give that a chance of success of another 20%, and he's got to do it in either November or December. If he can't do that, it'll be a total failure. I suspect John has a better chance of getting arrested than being a success. On the most recent WATP podcast, Carl noticed that Stuttering John is thinking of postponing his Washington, D.C. gig for November and December. Because in November it's Thanksgiving and in December it's Christmas. Congress people won't be there. But at the same time, John is desperate. I'm telling you, he's desperate to get an interview with a congressperson, somebody he can have a real confrontation with. His dream confrontation would be with Marjorie Taylor Greene or Matt Gaetz. He's hoping by having a real confrontation, he might be picked up by CNN or MSNBC, something that would go viral, something where he could once again be talked about on the cable shows. Hey, Cardiff. Here's why John is the perfect example of the Dunning-Kruger effect. His wish is to have an interview with Lauren Boebert. Then he's hoping to parlay that, some sort of confrontation with her, into either an arrest or an interview with Jake Tapper or Anderson Cooper. His biggest dream, though, would be get an interview with Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. If that happens, he'll get his first natural erection in 10 years. If he could only be interviewed by Rachel. What do you think?
Strike! Woo! Just knocking them down tonight, boys. Whew, what is that? What I got, like 95 going into the fourth frame? Perfect. Well, that was a lot of Gary there. He's always giving the best updates on the progress of Stuttering John from back then. But you're doing not so bad. You know, hey, you know, even professionals sometimes throw a gutter ball here and there. Don't let it get you down, buddy. All right, you're gonna be okay. But you know, hey, let's just take a break for a minute here and go back and listen to some of the Cardiff WATP reviews as he fills in for the missing Vic. Now watch me get this next strike.
Hello, this is Cardiff Electric, your one and only review girl. The only review girl that you can depend on every week. Here's your reviews this week from the internet. The first review is titled, "These Guys Aren't Too Bad. I Didn't Hate It." 1, 2, 3, that's a 5-star. The next review from the internet is titled, "Uninteresting. There's a reason shock jocks died out." 1, 2,
How long does this go on
3,
for?
that's a 1-star. The next review
Too
from
long.
the internet, "Worth a listen. Hilarious mockery of fragile podcast community. Keep it up, guys." 1,
Did you play it
2,
like double speed?
3, that's a 5-star. The next review is from Modern Podcast Magazine. "Who Are These Podcasts" is a terrible show. For many years, they relied on review girls like Vic and Casey. They were so undependable. Sometimes they would show up, sometimes they wouldn't. The show has gotten much better since the addition of the new review girl, Cardiff Electric. 1, 2, 3, that's a 5-star. The next review from the internet, titled, "Where's the Jokes, Fellas? Really Painful Listen."
I was
1,
just about to ask
2, 3, that's a 1-star. The final review from the internet, "Horrific Pile of Excrement. I will go back to 5 when this tired, played out Cardiff Electric bit is over. How dare he objectively and humorously listen to podcasts I enjoy and not say they're the best thing ever. Where does he get off? He even backs up his assertions with clips, like a real douche. It's also hilarious and I love listening. If you can't find something funny with this podcast, that's your fault." 1, 2, 3, that's a 1-star, but I'm not sure how I feel.
All right, does everyone miss Vic now? Can we get Vic and Casey back on the show?
Is there a name for whatever disorder he has?
Yeah, it's called loneliness.
Oh.
It's pretty sad. But whatever, we all love Cardiff.
I think I speak for everybody when I say we do miss Croge on WATP. Sorry about that 710 split you just got there. You know my advice? You want to go for the 10 pin, but you want to hit it hard on the far right side. Hope you could bounce it off the backboard there. It'll come back and knock over that 7 pin. Now I know you have about a 0.3% chance of making it, but don't let the numbers fool you, buddy. Luck is in your favor. Hey, I'm gonna go to the bar and get ourselves a couple brewskis. How about we listen to the time Cardiff was on strike? Not a bowling strike, but a legit strike? You decide.
And Mr. Cardiff, you know, that old stuttering John, he could help his mama fix that hole in the roof. And I'll tell you what, me and Delmar and Fergus and a couple of others, we could go over there and fix that. Take us 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, to put this new shingle on that roof. You know, it ain't that hard to do. Old stuttering John, he's something else. I tell you that. He's a man that won't help his mama ain't much of a man. What I would like to say. Well, you know, a man that won't help his mama is kind of like a horse that ain't got a whole, 2 or 3 shoes on it. I guess it ain't worth much. Well, all right. I hope you're all right. You're having you. Well, Mr. Carter, I guess I got cut off. What I was saying, and I hope you're having you good, and you stay away from that old stuttering John. I don't think he's gonna do you no good. He's got into the corn squeezing's pretty heavy, and he ain't right in the head. He's tetched. That's what we call it in the holler. We call he's tetched in the head. And that old Gary Coley, and he's a good, and I'll tell you that. He's right on the money when it comes to what he's saying about old stuttering John. I like that feller. Well, you have you a good one, and hope you get you some good victuals down there, and we'll talk to you on the flip flop. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Cardiff. Good show. Really liked it. Thanks. From Jay in Cleveland.
Hey, Cardiff. Gary from SD. I got some possibly not so good news for John. One of the top trolls of Stuttering John, who's been in hibernation for over a year, has reared his ugly head. And once John hears the name, John's going to start quaking in his boots. The troll that I'm talking of is Artie Lang. Artie's back. And once he thinks about John, he's going to fillet him like a teppanyaki chef at Benihana. It's going to be bad news for John when somebody brings up the name Stuttering John to Artie Lang. Hey, Cardiff, Gary from San Diego. On the most recent WATP podcast, Carl had on 2 of Stuttering John's top trolls, Anthony Cumia and Shuli Agar. All 3 of them piled on Stuttering John, taking pot shots at him for at least a half hour. If I'm looking for trolls, all I could do is take a walk around my block. Everybody's a troll for Stuttering John. Perhaps you or somebody could put on a supporter of John, an avid supporter. I'm trying to make a list of supporters of John. I only came up with one name, Michael Polpak. Possibly the owner of the Pickwick Pub might be a supporter. Hey, Cardiff, Gary in San Diego. Just check the National Weather Service. It's raining in Massapequa, New York, and poor John's 84-year-old mother is getting the torrential deluge into the ceiling and her roof. John keeps asking for Super Chat money. It's Super Chat Tuesday, Super Chat Thursday, and Super Chat Thursday. but not one dime goes to his mother. Can't that miser spare a little money to help his mom? And what about his siblings? Let me ask you a question. Are they cheap also? Won't they contribute to Mother Melendez? Hey, Cardiff, thinking about starting a GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez. Get some money towards fixing her roof. I wonder if John would contribute to that. Probably not. But then he'd complain Howard Stern didn't contribute to the new GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez. He could also complain about Gary Delabate, Robin Quivers, Fred Norris. I doubt if even Jay Leno would contribute. But I know one person that would contribute, Scott the engineer. He'd contribute, even though John wouldn't contribute to his GoFundMe page. To continue, I contacted Oscar Goodman, who's repped Tony the Ant Spilatro and Black Book member Joey Cusimano. He gave me some very savvy advice. Then my final call was to East Coast attorney Michael Paulpock. He wouldn't even take my call. So after getting all this advice, there's just too much liability to set up a GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez. And one of the attorneys said, John might try to divert that money into his own pocket. He might spend it all at the Pickwick Pub, or he might spend it at Yamamoto's in Agora Hills, one of his favorite Japanese restaurants. So forget it. I'm done trying to help John and his mother. Hey, Cardiff. On Tuesday's show, John exposed himself as a real, true grifter. He's on par with Henry Gondorf. He revealed that he's going not for the short con, but the long con. Yeah, he definitely said November and December are bad months to go to Washington, D.C. Those months are going to be short because of holidays, so I can't go. I'm going to have to postpone my visit till January. Of course, that gives him a lot more time to get money from his gullible listeners. Then let me continue this. John needs as much time as he can to squeeze money from those gullible listeners, the same 10 that keep giving him $5 super chat money. Then he revealed to Richard Ojeda that he's going to the dentist. And the dentist is going to start an Invisalign program. It's going to last a few months and then put in another veneer for his front tooth. So that's going to cost $5,000. He told Richard Ojeda he needs money, plenty of money. And how can he get it? Squeeze it from his gullible listeners. This is never going to end. He's a real true grifter. Hey, Cardiff. I was all ready to submit the paperwork for Mother Melendez's GoFundMe page. And then Judy said to me, don't you think you should check with an attorney? You know, John, he's quick to issue cease and desist orders. I said, Judy, you got a good idea there. So I made a couple calls. First, I called top Hollywood attorney Marty Singer. He fronts a lot of celebrities in Hollywood. He gave me some good advice. Then I contacted Oscar Goodman from Las Vegas. He's repped before Tony the Ant Spilatro and Black Book member Joey Cusimano. Let me continue this.
Mr. Cardiff, I surely did like that story you told on your show. But I don't like that feller what took that angel from heaven from you while you couldn't help yourself. You ought to give him what for. But he'll get his, either in this world or in the next, I'll tell you that. Well, yep, they say the devil don't play except the river flows from north to south. And them's words to live by, I tell you that. And then they was then and they are now. But I hope you have you a good one. All right.
Hey, Cardiff, Gary here. On the Thursday show, John had on Hal Sparks. He hadn't been on for quite a while, but by having Hal on, John got very excited. It gave him a chance to really crank up his fake laughter. Every time Hal finished a thought, John would fake laugh. And Hal loved that. So he kept rattling on for an hour and a half. John kept fake laughing for an hour and a half. Unfortunately, the fake laugh sounds exactly like cartoon character Muttley, which is very irritating. It's a raspy, fake laugh. To make sure I had all my T's crossed and I's dotted, I contacted some high-powered attorneys to make sure starting a GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez was legal and proper. First, I contacted Hollywood power attorney Marty Singer. He said he didn't think it was a good idea. Then I contacted Las Vegas attorney Oscar Goodman, former mayor of Las Vegas. He represented Anthony the Ant Spilatro and Las Vegas Black Book member Joey Cusimano. They said, no, don't do it. John's quick to sue. Be careful. Then I contacted Michael Palpak. He didn't even return my call. Anyway, I'm going to scrap this idea. Sorry, Mother Melendez. You're going to have to get your roof fixed by John. Good. Hey, Cardiff. I got to hand it to John. He's a pretty terrible podcaster. He's one hack comedian, a real hack. And he's a terrible singer. But he is good at one thing. He's a great grifter. He's learned how to soak his gullible listeners. Like any good con, he gets his listeners on the hook. He'll lead them to water, and just as they're about to take a drink, he pulls the rug out from under them. For months now, he's been teasing that he's going to have that DC gig, but it never happens. He pulls the rug out every time he gets close. I'm going to continue this. Well, to continue, John keeps leading those gullible listeners to the water, but he won't let them drink. He pulls the rug out. He's pulled the rug out on Benny Loco, Mark P., Nikki B. They keep contributing money and in hopes that John will make his DC gig. He's put it off now all the way to December, and he's talking about 2022. Will he ever get that DC gig going? Will he ever get that dream interview with Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper, or Rachel Maddow? No. Eventually, everybody will give up. They'll all give up, and John will be sitting there with no DC gig and no more super chats. Hey, Cardiff, Gary from SD. I went to a Hollywood party on Thursday and ran into a couple Canoga Park alumni, actor Jackie Earl Haley and Bryan Cranston. That's right, Walter White himself. And we were talking about Stuttering John, who happens to live in Canoga Park. They hate the idea that Stuttering John lives in Canoga Park. We talked about starting a petition to get him to move out of the valley, move out of Canoga Park as far away as possible. He seems to have a following in Pacoima, and he's been talking about Apple Valley. Yeah, move to Apple Valley, John. 2.5 hours out of Los Angeles. That's where you got a big following. Get the hell out of Canoga Park.
Well, Mr. Cardiff, you surely are good, and I know you're kind of despondent about this whole Stuttering John mess. Well, I wouldn't worry about it one bit. I wouldn't lose a bit of sleep over that feller. He ain't right, and you know he ain't right in the head. I wonder if he can even have it. I think the corn squeezing's gone to his head, and there ain't nothing he can do about it. He gets them rum fits, and oh Lord, you know. But I'll tell you what, that Gary, from wherever he's from, he's a good. And I tell you, he is as funny as he could be, and he's got a good woman by his side. He surely does. He sounds like a real good one. I hope you have a nice week, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Stuttering John is starting to weasel out of his DC gig. On the November 10th show, at the very tail end, he said, "Hey, I'm having problems getting a crew together for Washington, D.C., audio-visual crew. For months now, he's been saying his good friend, Doug Goodstein, was helping him get a crew together. But on November 10th, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, he says he's having problems getting a crew. So what's he going to do? Well, his big brainstorm is to get his moderators, Benny Loco and Nikki B, to look on Craigslist to find a crew for him. He's lazy. He won't find a crew for himself. He's assigning his moderators to do it. This guy is one big jabroni."
You said it, Gary. He's one big jabrone. Oh, I needed that break in the bar there. You know what they say, fifth frame, beer frame, skull. Now, I don't know if you listened to the Cardiff show from Saturday, October 18th, 2025, but there was a brief mention of the Who's Right podcast, and Cardiff used to do little reviews on that in the beginning of their shows. So while we enjoy the beer frame here, let's just take a listen to one of his reviews from back in 2021, as he called it, the Who's Left podcast.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Who's Left, a weekly recap of last week's Who's Right podcast. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to also listen to Dear Flabby. Search up Dear Flabby everywhere you find fine podcasts. If you want to support the show and get weekly bonus episodes, head over to patreon.com/who'sright. They also have all of their bonus episodes at who'sright.supercast.tech. You can watch the live show on YouTube at www.youtube.com/who'srightpodcast?. You can find merch, P.O. Box, links to submit Dear Flabby questions, and everything else over at www.who'srightpodcast.com. On last week's show, the boys started off talking about the Dear Flabby feed and monetizing it with commercials. What do you think? Then Doug read a funny story about a potato named Doug. Ha ha. From there, with less than 10 minutes already elapsed in the episode, what does Anthony do? Vaccine talk. The boys talked about a Vienna brothel that was offering services in exchange for vaccinations. I really like Doug's idea about being able to carve up the 30 minutes of services into smaller increments spread out throughout the month, really tailor-made for guys like me. Then the boys discussed grocery delivery services. Oh boy, buckle up, folks. Then the boys discussed a woman who was diagnosed with having climate change. I feel terrible for her. Doug then discussed his positive impact on climate change by stopping drinking Red Bull, almost 6 days. Then the boys discussed some administrative duties and where to place articles on the show's page. Then Doug apologized to Tyler from Fartmouth, and Anthony decided to go on a rival podcast.
I'd like to take this time to announce that I am going to be a guest on the Cardiff Electric podcast. So,
okay.
I haven't picked a date yet because I just thought of it right now.
So you don't know why I started laughing, do you?
No, not at all. I have no idea. I just know we did an ad read for him. I don't fucking know.
I think he's quitting.
Oh, well, I'll revive his show then. Even better. Why would he quit? He hasn't even had me on yet.
I don't know. Maybe he's not quitting. I don't know. It's all hearsay.
All right. Well,
Just
I'm going to be
coming down the rumor mill.
I'm going to be on it. So I got to let him know. I mean, I guess consider this him letting him know. I'm going to be on your show. So hit me up, set up a date.
Then Roundheads. Then Doug pleaded with the audience for more pizza cutters. Doug hinted towards his next business venture, the Who's Right Daycare. Doug and Anthony worked through some parenting roleplay and how to help Anthony explain racial diversity to children. Then the boys discussed a 100-year-old Japanese woman who was swindled by her nursing home out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it's okay. It was a gift. Then we learned that Doug only got his job because he's white. Doug then proposed some resolutions to make hiring more fair in America, but Anthony vehemently opposed these solutions. In the end, Anthony came around and realized Doug was right. Then the boys discussed the woke temple on Twitter that Anthony may or may not follow. We don't know. And then Anthony discussed his checklist that he goes through every time he chooses a drinking fountain. Then super chats and phone calls. So that's it for this week. Talk to you all next week on Who's Left, a weekly recap.
All right. Yeah, we're not listening to that again.
You can hear Dear Flabby.
Yep,
All
he's
right.
still going. Hold on, he's still going.
going.
Dear Flabby, wherever you get your podcast.
All right, what's going on, buddy?
Join the boys
What's up?
and support the show. Get a
When-
weekly bonus
when,
episode. You can head over to Patreon.
When somebody says the boys, like when somebody calls us the boys, doesn't that it creeps me out a little bit?
Links to
It's
some
weird.
Flabby questions
Why?
and everything else.
I don't because it's weird. No, you don't think so?
No. What do we fucking care?
It sounds weird. It hits the ear wrong.
Okay. Hold on. Lost my place already.
Got it. Yeah. Whew. Don't want to leave that open frame in the fist, I tell you that. But you're not doing so bad yourself there. What do you got? Fifth, lefty. You know, think of it as a warm-up game. All right. Well, where were we? All right. Let's get back to the show, shall we?
Before we get to this week's calls, we have a very important announcement. Last week on the Cardiff Electric podcast, we announced that Gary from San Diego had won a prize for his great calls into our shows. Unfortunately, when I arrived at the Cardiff Electric podcast studios this morning, Somebody had broken in over the weekend and stolen all our prizes. Stay tuned for more details, how you can help us recover Gary from San Diego's prize.
The beginning of something so unexpected, something big, something very big.
England is on the lookout. It could be a family member, and you don't even know it.
Everyone a possibility.
All right, listen up, everybody.
But only one will succeed.
I want a hard target search of every gas station, warehouse, outhouse, and doghouse in this area. Pandemonium has taken over the Tri-Cities.
The Fugitive. The challenge. Find and hunt down the fugitive. The bounty. Cash. It could be anyone, anytime. Listen for clues weekdays on the all-new
Cardiff Electric Podcast.
And write them all down. When you think you see the fugitive, ask this exact question. Are you the
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
fugitive? Follow the clues on the air. Build your case file. This will help you narrow down who the fugitive is and where they might be. It's the all-new
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Fugitive.
Folks, we have ourselves a fugitive.
Game on. Reality radio from the all-new
Cardiff Electric Podcast Network.
Tri-City's #1 hit music station.
Hey, Cardiff, Gary here. Remember I told you about that GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez and I was giving up on it? Well, I think it's restarted. I got a call from Brian Cranston of Canoga Park Alumni Association. We met at the Sagebrush Cantina in Calabasas. He said he'd like to help out Mother Melendez, since John won't. So he wants to get a bunch of Hollywood celebrities to contribute to Mother Melendez's hole in her roof. I think it's a good idea. And especially since John's now got a podcast called What I Hate About Hollywood. So now the Hollywood celebrities want to help Mother Melendez, and John won't. I'll keep you posted on this one. Hey, Cardiff, Gary and SD. It's confirmed John is the laziest podcaster in the United States. Right now, he has postponed his entire DC gig all the way to April of 2022. More time to soak the gullible listeners for super chat money. Now he's asking Gonzo, a listener, to find a good date for him. He's too lazy to do it himself. Also, the audio-visual people, the camera crew with the boom mic, he's too lazy to get a crew to do that. So he's assigned his moderator, Benny Loco and Nikki B. Go on Craigslist and see if you could hustle up a audio-visual crew for me. He's just lazy. He won't do anything for himself. He won't even lift a finger for himself.
Hello, Mr. Cardiff. That Gary now, he's right on the money. That Stuttering John, if he won't help his mama, we need to go help her ourselves. And I'll tell you, I told you before, me and Fergus and what that feller over there on the other side of the holler, old Cletus, and we go over there, wouldn't take us 5 minutes put a couple of shingles on that roof. That is a shame. That is just a plumb shame when you got a feller who won't help his mama. I think Gary is 100% right, and he's a good feller, and I'll help Gary if he wants to go. I'll help him too. All right, thank you.
Well, you highfalutin city folk are fixing the roof at Stuttering John's Mall's house. You got an old widow woman sitting over here. Ain't got no power, ain't got no water, ain't got a pot to make some some grease in. So I wish y'all would get over here and help an old widow woman. But I tell you, I'll be all right. I got me a crust of bread and some swamp water, and I'll be all right. Don't worry about me none. All right, thank you. Bye.
Hey, Mr. Cardiff, forgive my cousin Myrtle calling you. Myrtle, we'll get over there. We're fixing to fix that fire and then get your water going again. But right now we're trying to help old Stuttering John's mom. She's in a state. She surely is. Gary and me's gonna fix it, and then we'll come over there and we'll help you too, Myrtle. Quit calling Mr. Cardiff and bothering him like such. All right.
Hello, Mr. Cardiff. That Gary now, he's right on the money. That Stuttering John, if he won't help his mama, we need to go help her ourselves. And I'll tell you, I told you before, me and Fergus and what that feller over there on the other side of the holler, old Cletus, and we go over there, wouldn't take us 5 minutes to put a couple of shingles on that roof. That is a shame. That is just a plumb shame when you got a feller won't help his mama. I think Gary is 100% right, and he's a good feller, and I'll help Gary if he wants to go. I'll help him too. All right, thank you.
Essentially, John is lazy, like a sloth. He won't do anything for himself. He basically can't find out when Congress is in session. He could look it up, but he's just too lazy. He assigns that task to Gonzo. Gonzo, find out when Congress is in session. I'd like to do my DC gig, but I can't figure it out. I'm too lazy. Then he decides he needs a camera crew to go with him, a full-fledged camera crew, but he won't pay him. So he assigns that task to Doug Goodstein, his old friend from the Howard Stern show. Doug Goodstein bailed on John. He won't help him. So he assigns it to Nikki B and Benny Loco, his moderators. They can't do the work for John. He's got to do it himself.
This is the fugitive calling with your first clue on how to find me and get your prizes back. You could find me limping around Rochester, New York, with my club foot.
Hey, Cardiff, me again. I was thinking, why don't you... Hey, Cardiff, sorry about that. I dropped my phone while driving my car, and yeah, my last message sucked. Anyways, have you thought of joining John's Patreon? Because if you give him $10 a month, you can get a private call, and then he'll have to talk to you. Or you can do the one where you give him $20 a month, and then you and 3 other people can do it. And, you know, Patrick Michael is going to be your next new best friend. Maybe you guys work on a collab and do something with John. Or, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, keep on keeping on, and yeah, whatever. Don't call me back. Hey, Cardiff, if you got my last message, then ignore this one. Because Anchor's being kind of a piece of crap right now, which, speaking of Anchor and pieces of shit, seems that you're trying to get in contact with good old Patrick Michael. As someone who was, well, he tried to dox me, but he was way too stupid to actually, you know, figure that one out. It helps if you talk about his bad screaming and the fact that his baby mama left him. I don't know. Food for thought. Anyways, God bless and peace be with you. Don't call me back.
This is the Cardiff Electric
Hey, Cardiff. Had a meeting late this afternoon, a confidential meeting, so keep this on the down low. But I met with Brian Cranston, yeah, Walter White himself, and Howie Mandel at Brent's Deli in Westlake Village. The subject of the meeting was getting John out of Canoga Park, Stuttering John. Get him real far out of Canoga Park. The location we'd like to place him is Baker, California, right in the middle of Death Valley. Population about 750. It's real hot out there in Death Valley, the hottest place in the United States. But there's plenty of cockroaches. That's where we'd like to relocate Stuttering John.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Woo! Got it. Ooh. What is that, my 5th strike of the night? Not doing too shabby. Well, in that past episode, we heard the name Patty C-Cups brought up by a caller. You know, Patty C-Cups, a.k.a. Patrick Michael, a.k.a. Patty Broken Skull, a.k.a. Mr. Owner of $1,005 headphones. And brings us to our next episode, in which Cardiff has a new co-host. Could it be Patty? Maybe, maybe not. We'll let the tape decide while you go up there and try not to throw it in the gutter. I'm just joshing you. I'm just pulling your leg. All right, buddy. Get him, Tiger.
Before we get started, a word from our friends at Anchor. If you like this show and you'd like to make your own podcast, you can do that very easily by using Anchor. And the number one reason to do so, it's free. There's also creation tools that allow you to edit and record your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And now you can add music directly from Spotify to your episodes, which means the possibilities are endless for what you can create. Whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world has never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you find podcasts. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which means 10 listeners, 15 listeners, 5, it doesn't matter. You are going to get paid for what you create. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So simply download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey, it's your old pal Dr. Steve from Weird Medicine, and you're listening to the world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Today we open up the case, as usual, on the usual things that I like to usually talk about, and that is the briefcase. All right? We're simply here to gloat about this show and how great it is and how fun it is and how different it is. It's one guy. First and foremost, it's one man. It's just me. Okay? I'm wearing the bass drum on my back. I got the harmonica around my neck. I'm strumming the acoustic guitar. Okay? I'm the one-man band. I don't know. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I was just obviously joking there.
You had me worried for a second. I thought you forgot that I was here as your co-host. Haha.
This is so boring for me. It's not that exciting, not like it used to be, but I am more excited here lately. And I say that because the way that I have the setup and the things that I can do while I podcast and kind of absorb information while I'm also sort of giving information or just talking about nonsense, which is usually what, the foundation of the show, it's easier. Okay, and I've talked about this many times. People don't understand what it's like to try to get a quality sound in your podcast in the smallest form, where it's like, oh, I don't have a guy behind a glass wall with a 94 input mixer.
That is true. We only have 24 inputs. But we're working on it.
Okay, that's just not what's happening. Again, just a one-man band, doing it all on his own. If I knew for sure that I could just get a producer, some guy, some person to sort of work for free, I certainly would make sure that it was done correctly, at least, to my standards and what I would like. But even then, it's still, I would feel an obligation to have to go and listen to it and be like, oh, okay, that's a worthy episode. But how often do I do that in the first place? Am I sitting here constantly being like, oh, I hope these people are entertained by this episode? No. It's a brief case, All right, it's a briefcase of whatever we want it to be. Is that somebody going crazy? Maybe. Is it a briefcase of farts? Could also be that. Could also be that. I guess I'll just add this here and say, me and a friend were talking about this the other day about, we're just riffing, talking shit as you do with friends, and we brought up the idea of instead of actually measuring your dick, you should weigh it, and it should go by weight instead of length, right? Because your length could be pencil thin. And I'm a new fan of a podcast called This Is Important. It's all the Workaholics guys, Kyle Newacek, Anders Holm, Adam Devine, Blake Anderson. And they're actually riffing on this right now at the end of the episode, History of the Weird, Part 1. And they're talking about weighing their dicks. I'm not saying they stole a bit, but the one thing that they didn't get to is how I said you'd be able to weigh it, and I would come in like Mission Impossible style from the ceiling down to the scale. They didn't say that. I don't know if it's as funny. I think it's hilarious, but it is weird when you hear these topics that you just talk about in random life being brought up in any other place. It's a weird, like, deja vu type of situation, I guess. But much like when Whitney Cummings and myself both had the same joke about the guy from YMH, the security guard that Fed Smoker tries to, I don't know, do whatever he does. And we both said that he looked like David Spade. Great comedy minds think alike, as I've always said. Shit. I mean, I don't think that she's a great comedy mind, but I guess that says a lot about myself, doesn't it?
Donald Trump, you are known for your terrible haircut, and now I can see why. Your hair sucks. You look like Justin Bieber caught on fire. You're obviously very rich. Donald Trump is literally rolling in dough, which means he knows what it's like to fuck Lisa Lampanelli. Donald, you are gross. Nobody likes you, but you come back every couple years and nobody knows why. You're like the McRib.
So anyways, what else is there? Is there anything else? Do we have more things to talk about? Or is this the episode? Hard to say. Certainly feels like it could be the episode. We could find ourselves out of here. I guess we could probably just talk a little bit of a hypothetical. Most of this is hypothetical. None of this is researched, and I know very little about most of the things I talk about. But nonetheless, I can't help but to wonder, at least at this point, about The Purge. Okay? Not only was this a movie, and a big movie at that, they made several spin-offs. People are wondering, I guess I'm wondering, as well as many other people have sort of brought this topic up. It's like, what would you do? What would you do if that was an option? If one day a year, 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever, all crime is legal.
Broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
That's great. Let's take some calls from the listeners.
Mr. Cardiff, I listened to that music episode of yours, and it ain't like what we're used to up here in the mountains, I'll tell you that. But it was wild. It was wild, I'll tell you. You've opened up a whole new horizon, my thinking, if you know what I mean. So I appreciate you. I do look forward to hearing Gary, what he's got to say on your next edition of your show, because he sure is a good fella. All right, thank you. Bye.
Are you tired of listening to substandard podcast like the one you're listening to now? Well, we have a cure for your podcast needs. The world famous Cardiff Electric podcast is available now on Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, cassette, and everywhere else you listen. Enjoy, laughs, and thought.
Woo! 3 strikes in a row. That's what we call in the bowling biz a turkey. Wow. I swear, you think, after, not bowling in a few years that, you might say it's beginner's luck, but I say it's more like the luck of the Irish there. Speaking of turkeys, let's get to the 2021 Thanksgiving special on the Cardiff Electric podcast. I mean, it's up to you. You still want me to keep score? I mean, hey, like I said, we'll just mark this off as a practice game. Maybe next time we'll keep score, all right, buddy? Listen, don't sweat it, okay? You're gonna get them. Don't worry. You're gonna get them. I know you are. Trust. I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Hey, it's your old pal, Dr. Steve from Weird Medicine, and you're listening to the world famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
The Cardiff Electric Podcast Network does not officially celebrate Thanksgiving. We feel that this day represents too much tragedy and the domination of colonialism. But we know you love Thanksgiving, so we are putting out a special episode for you, the fans. We have a special guest this week who has some confessions to make and wishes to remain anonymous. Our special guest is on many drugs. That's why they wish to remain anonymous. Well, guest, what are some of the drugs that you're currently using recreationally?
Oxycodone and statin drugs and alprazolam, Xanax, stuff like that in there. So probably the edible I did.
That's terrible. Where do you think COVID came from?
Definitely know that COVID was made in a lab.
You recently had COVID, but you were also just in the hospital for something else. Would you like to discuss that?
Klebsiella granulomatosis.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And let's take some calls.
Hey, Cardiff. Ran into my neighbor Sandy this morning. She's been spending a lot of time working with feral cats and stray mongrels. Anyway, she told me she did a good deed for Stuttering John, a mitzvah. I said, Sandy, what did you do for Stuttering John? She said she signed him up with the Hollywood Society for Professional Fake Laughers. I said, what is that? She says, they do a lot of work on sitcoms, professional fake laughing. And I kind of paused and I thought about it. I said, that's about the only thing that Stuttering John does well, professional fake laughing. He could make a lot of money doing that. He could work with Frank Welker and Billy West, legends in that area. Good luck, John. Hope you get some extra money for the professional fake laughing. Hey, Cardiff, on the Thursday show, John still keeps looking to extend his Washington, D.C. gig to 2022. He is looking for help from Gonzo, and today he mentioned he'd like Kinky Streets to give him a hand to set up that D.C. gig, but he keeps putting it off, hoping to get more super chat money. Then, towards the end of the Thursday show, it appears he doesn't have many comedy gigs because he asked Hal, hey, Hal, when are you doing some comedy gigs? Because I've got some openings. My agent would like to get with your agent, and maybe I could get on your tour. John doesn't have any comedy gigs. He's now begging to join Hal. This is pathetic. Stuttering John is the epitome of an ingrate. On the Friday show, it turns out he's been badgering poor Hal Sparks into inviting him on his comedy tour. So Hal finally says, yeah, John, you could come on my comedy tour and maybe do a half hour for 4 dates. John agrees to that, but then he complains, airing his dirty laundry out loud. He complains and says, but the pay's pretty low. You're not offering me enough money. Talk about an ingrate.
Hey, Mr. Cardiff, I'm going to tell you, old Myrtle's in the state. I'll tell you that. See, I ain't never seen her like this as long as I've been on this earth. I ain't never seen her in this kind of state. I'm going to hold the phone over to her and let you tell you what's going on.
Well, I ain't never meted you before, but you was down here at old Hardy's Market, and he tried to get to see old Doc Van Bree, and he got his old tooth messed up, and he ain't talking real right. He is sure good, and so, but anyway, he's a kind of hurting, and we're going to get him
Myrtle, now don't tell him the whole song and dance.
All right. So
he don't need to know everything, Myrtle.
Well,
I
was just trying to help you, you know.
Well, Mr. Cardiff, I think we got cut up on that one. I don't know what happened there. I guess you can't just talk and talk all you want to, but I'm gonna pass it. Now this guy, he's wild. He's wild. That's my cousin Delmer, and he's a good, and I'm gonna pass it to him. There you go.
I don't know what was happening with Gladys, but I was wondering if you had some Vagisil over there, because I got something funny growing underneath me, and I just don't know exactly what it is.
Well, he don't know nothing, Mr. Carter. We was hoping you might know. But Myrtle's she got something to say to you.
Well, I ain't never heard them fellers talk like this, but they's the young'uns.
Now, Myrtle, he ain't got to tell him everything now.
They's about...
Well, Mr. Carter, I don't know what to tell you. Old Myrtle says she ain't done a talking to him.
Well, them old young fellers, I ain't never seen them before, but they stole the old...
Now, Myrtle, you know that ain't right.
And they fall down, and one of them broke his leg.
Well,
I was going to take him to old Doc
He was drinking corn squeezing, Myrtle. He can't help it.
They run down to the creek, so I don't know.
Let Delmer tell him, Dad, burn ye.
I don't. You just tell them, old Delmer, but them old men dudes mean old boys.
They run down to the creek, because that's where the good stuff was. You see, when they start getting
Now,
all the good
Delmer,
stuff,
you're right.
That's
right. You're telling the truth now.
Best times ever on the good stuff down the creek.
You're right. You couldn't tell it. Well, Mr. Carter, I'm sorry we had a kind of a disconnect there. And, old Myrtle had something to tell you shortly. Oh, I got the consumption, don't you know?
Well, he's up here coughing, and I fall down them old steps.
You did the hillbilly two-step, didn't you, Myrtle?
Well, I was going to say that before you interrupt me, but anyways, I fall down.
Broke your old hip.
Doing an old hillbilly two-step, and old Doc Carson.
You fell down 2 steps, didn't you, Myrtle?
He gave me
What do you think, Delmer?
I'm just hoping that they believe that what she says is what really happened, because when they don't believe it, she ain't getting the good stuff.
They'll give her some hydros and some oxys. That's a fact.
Some of them old Lord.
Well, Mr. Carter, I tell you what, that Gary, he's something, that Gary is. He is dead right.
about everything he said about Stuttering John. He's got a bunch of fans here in the holler, ain't that right, Mark?
Well, yeah, I ain't never been out of the holler down cheer, but I ain't never been to California. I've heard of it before, because I've seen them old pictures.
You've heard tell of California, though, ain't you?
Black and white television,
That's right. You got the old kind of Victrola in that thing that you got there.
I'm doing some ciphering, and I ciphered. They got the good stuff out there, and so we gonna go out there. We gonna
They
get it and bring it back
surely
to the
do.
holler.
You can do some ciphering. He's good at ciphering. He does his gazintas 3, gazinta 9, 3 times.
So I ain't sure what they.
Big shout out to Dr. Steve and the whole Myrtle family there. That was incredible. The Cardiff Electric Thanksgiving special. Now, as we remember, 2021, there was a little, there was a lot of things going on back then, and one would just happen to be the old, I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube. YouTube Turtle Service. The the C19, as you would call it, and many of the different variants out there. One of them, of course, being a Omicron, explained here in this episode coming up by Cardiff as I hit the lanes for my 5th strike in a row. Come on, boy, we got this. Cut all that out. And that was a very special Thanksgiving episode with the great Myrtle family, care of Dr. Steve himself, Weird Medicine. He's the best. The GOAT, I would say, greatest of all time. And my favorite bowler of all time happened to be, Parker Bone III. He growing up, he was the guy that, I was, a semi-amateur back in the day, I would say. I played in a few local tournaments here and there. Hey, I'm not going to brag. But, I did all right. I had a few trophies. I even had a few patches back in the day when I was on the clubs. But enough about me. This, we're talking about Cardiff Electric here. See the guy in the lane next to us or that gutter? You see how his hips were bent like that? That's what you're not supposed to do, okay, buddy? All right, listen. Don't worry, you're gonna get it. You're gonna do well. I'm gonna get you like this little wrist thing we wear. Helps us throw a hook ball. Helps us keep our arms straight. I think something like that would definitely improve your game. But while I take a quick run over to the Pro Shop to see if they have any in stock, let's listen to the next episode, shall we? Because, after all, this is the Cardiff Electric podcast.
Hey, this is Cardiff Electric and my co-host.
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Patrick.
What do you want to talk about today, buddy?
Comedians that have daughters, okay?
Okay.
Especially if they only have daughters. Because it just means the offspring of people like Larry David or Chevy Chase will absolutely not be funny. And that's only because they're women. That's it. I mean, what is stand-up anymore anyways? I mean, these days we got twerkers with the tweakers on TikTok, and I'm too tired of this bullshit, okay? I don't know if I've talked... I'm sure I've brought these topics up a little bit here and there, kind of in passing. Never really did a full episode on it, and the final topic and the main basis of this episode will be very strange to you.
I hear you.
Because who knows if you've already heard it? Who knows if I've already did an episode this way or talked about these things? Of course, I'm joking. I'm sure Larry David's daughter is hilarious. She already dated Pete Davidson, and that is the funniest thing she could possibly do. Same thing with Larry David's daughter. Did I say that already? That's who I meant. I don't know why I forgot it that quickly. Doesn't matter. Nonetheless, what is stand-up anymore? I'm being honest. You know, it's so ridiculous. I mean, stand-up comedy is still going to be, at least in my head, where you're going to find the quality acts. You're going to find the people that can be in movies and film. I just don't see it being possible where TikTokers are somehow going to take over the acting world. It's just unbelievable.
I agree.
It's unbelievable. Maybe even some YouTubers getting TV shows, fine. But being the next big thing, it's ridiculous. I mean, shout out Island Boys, but what are we doing?
Yep.
I guess my main reason for doing this episode is because I had thought about doing an episode a while back in September simply to discuss the year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Because I had started this show in September of 2020. So it's been just a little over a year at this point in November, almost December of 2021. So I'm looking at the all-time stats here. I don't know what this means. The plays, I had 2,000 some, and
wow.
I don't know. It looks like January. I don't know. 1-7, 5-2. I don't know. Because I don't know.
36.
January 6th. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So the beginning of the year was a huge boost in
big time
numbers, I guess, but
a lot of listeners.
Top episodes are Just Basic. Okay, that's an episode I recall.
That was a good one.
Sort of trashing a bunch of trashy things. Then the next episode is The End.
Ooh.
And that was an episode where everyone thought that I was stopping doing this.
No way. Can't do that.
And then oddly enough, the third most listened to episode was an hour long.
Whoa.
Okay, it's the hour that you won't get back. And what I really find funny about that is that episode was bizarre.
Bizarre.
I know it was. I went on for an hour, guys. Can you imagine? I can't.
Proud of you, buddy.
Even though I'm still doing it, the hour seems insane.
Insane. In the membrane.
Why? I don't know. It just seems ridiculous at this point for that to still be the standard of what we think a podcast should be. I mean, it's nice, but it's not that great when it's just one guy.
That's why I'm here.
It only gets more bizarre as it goes on. But as far as the geographic region where people are listening, 80% is in the United States, 4% in Canada, 4% in Australia, 4% in the UK, and 1% in Germany. Wow. Who would have guessed this thing was worldwide? All right. Who would have guessed that little old briefcase was getting that many listens all over the planet?
We believe in you.
But then you have the top platforms in which people are listening, and this is, like I said, just over a year's time. Apple Podcast, 35%.
Wow.
35% of people are listening on their iPhones.
Apple.
And then 18% on Spotify, 15% on Podcast Addict, 5% for Google Podcast.
You're amazing.
5% for Overcast, so on and so forth. 12% for other. And the age demographic of the audience is very, it's right in the center between 23 and 27, 25%.
Voice of the youth.
28 to 34, 27%, and 35 to 44, 27%. So I would say from 23 to 44 is my demographic. 9% of people between 45 and 59 also listen, which that's crazy.
Wow.
That's weird. I don't know how they got a device that can play a podcast.
Maybe their nurses play it for them.
Are they still using MP3? They're just using the web browser. Then 60 and above, 2%. 2% listening to this show in the past year.
Are they named Stephanie?
I have no idea. But as far as the genders, you have 85% male, 8% non-binary, and 5% female. Now, most of these stats, and it does say here that the source is Spotify.
Yes.
So you'd have to imagine if 18% of my listeners are on Spotify, this is only showing 18% of the entire
Yes.
listenership, I'd imagine. So you'd have to actually do the math there.
18 divided by 18.
But either way, I just released an episode November 26th called Episode Name because I'm so tired of fucking trying to have a clever little name that's going to make people listen to the episode. I don't care enough about that shit.
Marketing.
I don't even want to remember what I talk about most of the time.
Me too.
And I listen to this thing twice. I mean, I don't listen to it twice. I listen to it once, essentially. But then I'm saying it all as well. So it's like, I don't know. I'm hearing myself. Is that fair?
Yep.
But anyways, this episode is going to kind of get ridiculous.
Oh, buckle up.
Because there's a lot of people that are giving this. I will say thank you to everybody who has listened to the podcast over this last year. All right? Lot of plays. A lot of constant subscribing. I have no idea. I don't know. You guys just listening, and it's bizarre.
That's great. I have a question, though. What do you think about that guy who hosts that podcast that we will not name?
I mean, he's so bald, and, well, he's balding, and this dude does not look good.
And he's club-footed.
But who could have guessed? You could make thousands of dollars a month doing a podcast where you play clips. It's honestly not the host that bring the entertainment, it's the clips they play, and 90% of that comes from the audience, and it's curated by their producers. So it's very rare that they themselves are the ones picking the content that they happen to talk about on the show. Therefore, the funny relies on the producers.
Producer Chris.
And it feels like anyone could do exactly what they do. But they cultivated an audience of sad degenerates that are living in the days of E-Bomb's world.
Funny you mention E-Bomb's world.
It's like, grow the fuck up, you psychos. I just be talking shit for the sake of content. But nope. But I do remember the beginning of the pandemic when nobody was working. And this was the very beginning of the pandemic where nobody was working. There was no idea about getting unemployment. People were fucked. And he's like, hey guys, don't forget, buy our shirts.
And their live show tickets.
It was grossly disrespectful.
What do you think of that review girl, Vic?
She's a fucking airhead goth chick. It's like becoming a cashier.
Ha!
She's just a ditz playing the part of the wife.
Ooh.
She said shit that could get her canceled. You know how many shows do exactly what they do and have barely 25 listeners an episode? Thousands. Maybe millions. My point is, I don't know, it's fine. Sorry. You're not doing much. I mean, you're cultivating a group of people that are seriously damaged. They're certainly dedicated, but I'm going to make like a wagon wheel and roll.
And I'm going to make like a tree and leave. Cardiff out. Let's take some phone calls from our listeners now.
Hey, Cardiff. Couple things going on here. It looks like Friday it's going to be raining in Massapequa, New York. And Mamacita Melendez is going to get all wet with that hole in her roof. Development number 1, John still hasn't fixed his mom's roof and hasn't lifted a finger to give her any money. Number 2, I did speak to Howie Mandel and Brian Cranston about a GoFundMe page for Mother Melendez. They said it's a no-go. Nobody wants to contribute to John since he won't lift a finger to help himself. So his mother's on his own. She's going to get all wet, and John could give a crap. Hey, Cardiff, I got with my neighbor Sandy. She gave me an update on that Hollywood Society for Professional Fake Laughers when she submitted John's name. It turns out they're rejecting him. His laugh is just too fake. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound good enough to any of these sitcoms or some of the other shows that they use professional fake laughers. So, John, that's another job you're not going to get. Too bad. Sorry, John. We'll try to think of other jobs you can do that you might be qualified for. I don't know, though. It's a tough one.
Well, Mr. Cardiff, I surely am sorry about it last week. But all them people was out of control. They was out of control. They got into the corn squeeze, and I'll be honest with you. And I surely am sorry that they got in there. And I'm going to tell you, I was right in there with them. And that's what that demon drink will do to you. Well, I ain't going to call you no more. Because I figure we probably outstayed our welcome, but I don't want to say, keep on keeping on, Gary. You're a good one, and I hope you stay on that old stuttering John, and don't let him take money from people he should not to. And Mr. Cardiff, I hope he unblocks you. God bless and I have you good. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, Tommy, what do you think of John's doing his stand-up?
I saw him in Vegas at Laugh Factory, and he was terrible.
Sandy, what do you think of him as a podcaster?
Oh, I don't think he's a very good podcaster either.
Yeah, you guys nailed it. He's only good at one thing. He's a good grifter. That's what he is. He's a good grifter.
Hey, Cardiff. Is it me or does it seem like Gary from San Diego is cheating on his wife with the neighbor? I don't know. Also, is he a fan of John or not? Anyways, glad to see that you got that retard on the show. What's his name? Patrick Michael. And I don't know, maybe you should talk to Tom Myers next. Either way, keep on doing the thing you do, and don't let those Southern people on again. They're really annoying. All right, go fuck yourself. Bye. Hey, Cardiff, it's me again. I forgot to mention something. Is it me or is John, does he not talk to his kids anymore? You know, he keeps talking about how he sees them over Thanksgiving, and then he takes them to, the Denny's equivalent of Italian food. And yeah, I don't know, maybe some forensic investigating from you and the SJ Army would get to the bottom of this. Also, when are you going to watch One Too Many? I don't know. Kind of waiting for that. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, and don't call me back. Hey, Cardiff, have you ever tried just going to Pickwick yourself? I mean, he can't block you in real life, right? Anyways, just some food for thought. Keep up the good work, and don't let those Southern people back on. They're really annoying. All right, bye.
Hey, Cardiff. I met with Howie Mandel at Brent's Deli in Westlake Village this morning. And I said, hey, what do you think of John's new podcast, What Bugs Me About Hollywood? He started laughing. He said, it's atrocious. It's a self-indulgent screed. The guy's a narcissist. He thinks he's the greatest director and screenwriter that Hollywood ever had. If only he did that instead of going on the Howard Stern show. He should go back into directing, according to John. He's terrible. He's a real buffoon. Howie and I both got a big laugh out of that. Hey, Cardiff. I did hear from the Hollywood Society for Fake Professional Laughers that I submitted John's name to. And I got a rejection letter for John. They rejected him outright. They gave a couple reasons. One, they said his fake laugh was too phony. Number two, his fake laugh was contrived. His fake laugh was not natural. And number four, his fake laugh sounded too much like Muttley, the cartoon character. Anyway, they're they indicated their rejection is final. Please do not resubmit. So sorry, John. It looks like you're rejected and won't be making any extra money from the Hollywood Society for Professional Fake Laughers. Too bad.
Nice. Now you see that there? You kept your back straight, and boom! You hit it right there in the pocket, and you got yourself. Well, you got 9 pins, but we're gonna work on the spare maybe next time. All right? You gotta throw a little bit more straighter, but you also want to get over farther to the right. But it's all right. Special shout out there to Patty C. Cups, man. He's still around. He's still kicking. He's still doing his thing. He's gone, but he's not forgotten. So always keep your lookout for him. He's always changing his name, where to find him and stuff. But there's eyes and ears out there. If you look, you can always find them. Almost there at the 10th frame. Oh, looks like I'm running away with this one. But, hey, maybe next week, what do you say? Try some billiards or something. Something a little bit more your style. But, here we are, closing in on 2021. And, I'm going to listen to the Cardiff Electric Christmas special from back then. And, just take a listen to. I'm going to go up there and give me 3 strikes in a row, baby. Watch and learn.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Before we get started, a word from our friends at Anchor. If you like this show and you'd like to make your own podcast, you can do that very easily by using Anchor. And the number one reason to do so, it's free. There's also creation tools that allow you to edit and record your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And now you can add music directly from Spotify to your episodes, which means the possibilities are endless for what you can create. Whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world has never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you find podcasts. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which means 10 listeners, 15 listeners, 5, it doesn't matter. You are going to get paid for what you create. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So simply download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey, it's your old pal Dr. Steve from Weird Medicine, and you're listening to the world-famous Cardiff Electric podcast, one of the most famous podcasts on the internet today.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Cardiff Electric Podcast. We're just 10 days away from Christmas. The Cardiff Electric Podcast Network wants to give back to those in need, especially children. There are plenty of underprivileged children in America that will wake up Christmas morning without a present, and the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network wants to give back. What can you do to help? If you see a child in your community that may wake up Christmas morning without a present, it's important that you help us to help them. Let them know that they could find the Cardiff Electric Podcast everywhere they find podcasts. The Cardiff Electric Podcast Network is the perfect gift for everyone this Christmas season. Perhaps you could purchase them a gift membership to our Patreon, where they will get exclusive bonus content and access to all the hosts on the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network. It's important to go to our Patreon page and subscribe to help all the children this Christmas season. It's been a busy 2 weeks since our last episode. We apologize to all of our listeners and fans. We had some scheduling issues with our shows on the network, like Vinny Likes Wrestling, and we also had severe weather that destroyed the Cardiff Electric podcast studios. But we are back and better than ever. So let's take some calls.
Hey, Cardiff. For about the third show in a row, John did not mention going to D.C., but he never forgets his grift. He did mention he spent money, $5,000 for his teeth, his laminates, and he's going to need new ones every 10 years. Then he brings up that he's got going to go see his mom in New York over the holiday season. Doesn't talk about D.C., but he's. And then he says, don't forget, it's Christmas, it's the giving season. Give to me, give to Stuttering John. I need cash. Hey, Cardiff, a couple things. I checked the National Weather Service. It's raining 3 times in the next 7 days in Massapequa. I think by the time John visits his mom for Christmas, the roof may have caved in from all the rain. Oh well, too bad for John. Second thing, John is really hard charging to bamboozle Hal Sparks. He's been badgering him to get on his comedy tour. Please, Hal, let me join you. Please, Hal, let me join you. I've got open gigs. Hal finally relented, and it looks like John's going to be joining him for maybe a 10 or 20-minute stint before Hal's featured show. The problem is John wants more money. Pay me more, Hal, please. I'll even host. You can pay me more. Hey, Cardiff, one of your listeners asked a couple questions about me. They want to know, number one, did I have a little hanky-panky going on with my neighbor Sandy? Well, the answer is no. Sandy is way out of my league. And just for the listeners, my wife is way, way out of my league. So no matter what, I'm batting really good with Judy. Number two, did I ever like Stuttering John? Was I a supporter? I guess way, way back in 1990, I might have been a supporter for about a half a New York minute. But pretty soon, John revealed himself to be a grifter. And once a grifter, always a grifter. He was always interested in money. Money, money, money. No, I'm not a supporter.
Cardiff, I just wanted to say thanks for hosting Vinny's podcast. He's basically the Kenny Omega of podcasting, and yeah, it was a good show. Also, here's the fact about Stuttering John: his kids don't love him. All right, go with God, and yeah, don't ever call me back.
Hey, Mr. Cardiff, I'll tell you that that old highfalutin cityfied feller now, what he was saying about Southern folk, I don't think I can stand for that. But I ain't the king of England, I'll tell you that. But I ain't never been called annoying. Well, Myrtle now, she's pretty annoying. She sorely is pretty annoying. That's a fact. So I'm gonna assume he's talking about old Myrtle, and that's all right. He ain't wrong about that. Now, old Gary, he is a good one. That man is a good feller. And that Sandy, that friend of his, I bet she's as purty as she can be. I bet she lights up a room like well, I don't know, like a lamp or something like that. Well, I hope you have you a good one, and I tell you, have you a good day and a good.
Hey, Cardiff, I'm not going to pussyfoot around anymore. I can't sugarcoat it for John. I got to be totally honest. He's a complete fraud. He says he supports Biden Build Back Better infrastructure plan. Really? How come you won't support the Build Back Better plan for his mom's roof? It's raining in Massapequa. That's a deluge. The heat's going through the roof. His mom is freezing, and the water's coming in. Build back better your mom's roof, John. Quit being a fraud.
Hey Cardiff, I just want to know what your thoughts on the band The Isotopes was. Unlike Stuttering John, who actually sang and played guitar, their guitar player doesn't sing and he's a club-footed retard. Yeah, maybe a comparison between the two would be, interesting and worthwhile. Gary from San Diego, I'm sure would talk shit about it because clearly he's a turncoat. Anyways, have a good day and yeah, don't ever call me back.
Well, Mr. Cardiff, I certainly do like that Benny Paolini feller. That wrestling show, I'm telling you, that's good. You got you good right there. You got the cat by the tail. Yeah, you surely do. I like to hear about Skull Murphy and Brooke Bernard and all them fellers. Ricky Steamboat, Blackjack Mulligan, Rufus Herbert Jones, he was a good, and Greg Valentine, all them wrestlers, they're wild. All right, well, I hope you have you good, and I appreciate you having that old wrestling on there. It's pretty good for fellers like me who likes to have wrestling. All right, have you good, bye.
You ready?
Yeah. Hey, Phil, when you lived in New York, did you know Stuttering John Melendez?
Yeah, I knew him. He lives in Massapequa, right?
Yeah, he lives in Massapequa. Is that close to you?
Yeah. Yeah, and after 20 years, that son of a bitch still owes me money.
How much?
$50.
Yeah, that figures. He's a grifter.
Well, hey, Mr. Cardiff, I hate to bother you, but I ain't heard tell from you in a while, and I want to make sure you's okay, because you usually are pretty regular. Regular, it's good to be regular. That's what my old pa used to say. Glad to take you some, some sawdust and a little castor oil. Yeah, you'll be regular. But that's a different kind of regular, Mister Carter. You know that. You know what I'm saying. Well, anyway, I hope you're all right. Now, I look forward to hearing your next show. You surely are a good. And until Garrett from San Diego, old Cletus said, "Howdy do." All right.
Cardiff Electric, I am not unblocking you. You're a troublemaker. Stop telling Monique from Radio Gunk that I'm bad mouthing her, because I'm not. I love Monique and she's a friend of mine. You're a freaking troll. So just get lost, okay? I gave you your attention. You should be very happy. You can go jerk off later.
Sounds like fun. So, we just wrapped up the 10th frame. I got my 3 strikes, as I predicted. Bowled a 235 for my first time in 7 years. That's not too shabby, I would say. But, enough about me. So, come across this just recently, and, it seems somebody out there is trying to start a petition to have, or force, I would say, Cardiff Electric to have to unmask himself. Now, luckily for us here in the future, it didn't really take off too well. It didn't really have quite as much of a movement as certain GoFundMes do have. But you appreciate the effort that people made back then to try to find out just who the real Cardiff Electric is. And so far here, wrapping up 2021, I can't say we even know who the real man is. But there was one guy back then who did have a little bit of an issue with well, he wasn't the potato yet, but we all know what happens. Vinny Paulino of the Creep Off. Back in September 23rd, 2001, he messaged, quote, "I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks this Cardiff shit is getting stale fast," unquote. Now you could say he's just, he's a comedian, we all know that. He's probably just joking around, pulling someone's leg, jerking someone's chain, JK, JK. But you can never be too certain. But we do appreciate Vinny for all he does. Always go to thecreepoff.com and vote Vinny. But I digress. So wrapping up December in WATP land, our old good club-footed guy out in Rochester, Carla Hamburger. He was doing a show and he kind of needed a co-host. So at the last minute, he happened to get a hold of one Missy B, a very close friend to Anthony Cumia, as we all know. And they were going to try to play a few games. As we all know now, Cardiff is very famous for his games on WATP. And even started back then, he was always trying to do, who said it, doing the thing with the reviews and stuff. So this is him just kind of trying to break out of his little shell there with his games. And fortunately for us, we have it here for you from WATP number 290. It's Cardiff's Games.
We do not have a this week because producer Chris out that. So instead, I got a bunch of stuff over from friend Cardiff. He sent over called the Older Than Carl game, and we'll play this together. I thought Vic was going to come on, but I don't see Vic. But hey, Missy, what are you doing? You want to come on and do a game with me?
Okay.
Hey, here she is.
Hey.
What's up, Missy?
Good. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yes.
Awesome, cool. I had to hop onto my other computer to even get this going.
Oh, that was quick. Okay, we're going to play a game. It's the Older Than Carl game. I have not listened to this ahead of time. I do not know what it is, but we can trust our good up with something good, right?
All right, let's go.
Let's see.
It's time for everybody's favorite WATP quiz show, Older Than Carl. The show where we ask you, is this older than Carl? Your first question, is this older than Carl? Garfield the cat. 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes to this too, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I hope so.
That's pretty
2,
easy.
3. Carl is older than Garfield the cat.
Fuck, it's
Next,
close though.
On Older Than Carl.
No, I'm so sorry.
It's close. It's really, I think Garfield. All right, you people can look it up. Damn it.
Reese's Pieces. 1.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah,
2.
definitely.
You think
yeah,
Reese's
you
Pieces
have
are
to be. Oh
older?
my god.
All right. Oh shit. I don't want to just keep saying everything's older than me and be wrong. I have a feeling I know how Cardiff operates. I think I'm going to be older than all this shit. I'm going to say that I'm older than Reese's Pieces.
2, 3. Carl is older than Reese's Pieces.
God damn it. Okay.
God, jeez. Is stickball next?
The Atari 2600. 1, 2.
No.
I'm older.
3. Carl is older than the Atari 2600.
It's fucking stupid.
The Yellow Lego Man. 1.
Oh yeah, I'm older than the Lego guy.
3.
Yeah, for sure.
Carl is older than the Yellow Lego Man.
Yeah, but I'm younger than the Black Lego Man.
Nike shoes.
Nike shoes?
1,
No.
2.
No way.
No, Carl's not.
3.
Oh, that was like 80s.
Carl is
You're
older
like
than Nike shoes.
1955, right?
He just said I'm older than Nikes. Can I get a fact checker on this? Is that really true?
So I got that one right?
I'm getting them all right, but I'm not happy about it. It says Atari
Why don't you
came out.
cry about it?
Atari came out September 1977. That's older than me then. Yeah, that's a bullshit. I think he's getting this wrong.
I think it's one of those tests that it's always B and you think you're wrong.
Yeah, right. It starts to fuck with you after a while. You're like, oh, they're going to throw me a curveball.
The movie Star Wars. 1.
That's older than me.
2.
That's definitely older than me.
3.
I don't have an
Carl
answer.
is not older than the movie Star Wars.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
Yay.
The Post-it note.
Take that one. Take that victory.
Oh, look at this. Somebody just posted 1964 Nike shoes. Thank you, Cyborganic. All right, what's this question now? The Post-it note? I'm probably older than Post-it notes.
1.
No, I think Post-it notes are older than you.
Okay, I'll take it. Let's see.
2. 3. Carl is not older than the Post-it note.
Okay.
Coors Light.
Coors Light. That's a tough one. I don't know. Light beers didn't become a thing until the 80s, I don't think. I could be wrong.
1. 2.
Yes.
3. Carl is older than Coors Light.
Yeah, I
Ain't
thought
that
so.
a kick in the teeth? Thanks for playing Older Than Carl. Brought to you by the
my
Cardiff Electric
God.
Podcast Network. Happy birthday, Carla.
Thanks, Cardiff.
Oh man. Hey, Carl, we have a bunch of hurricanes. Do you want one?
Ah, Missy, I don't like it. Everyone's scoring on me today. We're supposed to be celebrating. I have another game for
listen,
you.
That game was very eye-opening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It was for me, too. That was a bit rough. I don't like being older than Coors Light. That kind of sucks. I'd like to think there's a Coors Light can in John's apartment right now that's older than me, but apparently not.
Definitely.
All right, here's another game. This is the Who Said It game, produced by Mr. Cardiff Electric.
Welcome to Who Said It, the official podcast game on WATP, brought to you by the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network. Okay, Carl and co-host, Who Said It? Our first entry. Who said it? I don't care about your problem and why you couldn't be here, because you could have been, so thanks for fucking us. Who said it?
Oh, who said that?
John Melendez, it has to be because he's so bitter.
Yeah, okay. And he does have guests on his show. It's a show that has guests on it. So it wouldn't be Opie. Yeah, okay. I'll go along with that.
1, 2, 3.
I don't care about
Patrick.
your problem and
Patrick
why you
Michael.
couldn't be here. Because you could have been. So thanks for fucking us.
Yeah, it was douchier than John. John is like more passive in his shittiness.
Well, when he gets drunk, though, he'll say stuff like that. Thanks for fucking us. Although he doesn't say us. It's always just him.
It's always about him.
God, Patrick Michael. I feel like I've heard that part of that episode, too. I'm mad at myself. I'm terrible at this game so far. All right, let's get another one here.
Same.
Who said it? That's when two guys have sex with a girl, but they're not allowed to look at each other. And if they do, they get penalized. Who said it?
Oh, I think I have an idea on this one. Do you want to take a crack at it?
No, and I'm trying to think of the guy's name. What's the thing where the guy is like, "We need a hero"?
Oh, that's
Who's
Tom
that guy? I forget.
Myers.
Tom Myers. I was thinking Tom Myers.
Okay, I'm
so
going to go Jerry
I'll put
Banfield.
that in.
I'm going to say Jerry Banfield on this. And so you have Tom Myers. I'm saying Jerry Banfield. Guess what? It's going to be Patrick Michael.
1, 2, 3.
That's when two guys have sex with a girl, but you're not allowed to look at each other. And if they do, they get penalized.
Our next.
God damn it.
Oh,
I'm terrible at
I
this
remember
game.
that. Was that when he was talking about the lesbians?
I don't know what that was
Is that
about. I've never heard that before. Who's officiating this? They're not allowed to look at each other. Who wants to look at each other when you're banging a girl? So weird.
Or John. Ugh.
Our next entry. Who said it? He is just a fat guy from the South. Yeah, he won't share his political statement. That right there in itself is a call to arms. Who said it?
Oh, that's Tom Myers, right? Political thing?
Yeah.
You gonna go with that too?
Man. Yeah, that's okay.
1,
Voted.
2, 3.
and he is just a fat
Patrick
guy
Mike,
from the
I'm
South.
terrible at this game.
Carl, is
he
that
won't share
your
his
phone
political
that just
statement,
went
and it's
off?
like, why
No.
is that right there in itself
Okay.
is a
I wouldn't let that
call to arms.
That's all for this week on Who Said It.
Wow, we
Brought
are
to
the
you by the
worst.
Cardiff
This is the
Electric
worst.
Podcast
I'm the
Network.
worst guest. You're the
Home
worst
to the most
host. This
famous
is terrible.
podcasts on the internet today.
You know, it's funny because this was Vic's idea for this game. And of course,
But she's not here.
Well, of course, she picked something that we had already played earlier in the show, so it totally didn't work. But the way that Cardiff has put this together, it's a fucking hard game. I suck at this. God damn it.
I'm sorry. I feel like I didn't even come prepared.
Well, you weren't. This is not your fault. Not your fault at all.
That was so fun.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on and trying
problem.
that. God, we knew who we were supposed to pick. We just didn't pick them at the right times. And Patrick Michael says some crazy shit out of context. You'd never believe he said. So it makes it so
He
hard.
says everything out of context. That he is just always just random words. Ant wishes that he was serious and the unicorn that he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually just playing a character. He's like, he's either really fucking stupid or a genius in how he does his show.
Yeah, he's definitely really fucking stupid. That's
definitely the former.
answer.
Definitely the former.
Definitely that. But he's right, though, because if he was Andy Kaufman or something, he'd be the second coming. Because it's impossible to play. No one else can do this for this long. It's incredible what he's able to
And have that many shows. I mean, is that what Will Noonan's trying to do? Is he trying to play a Patrick Michael?
Yeah, he's taking over for the most prolific podcaster. That would be a fun show, is to play a clip from Patrick Michael and try to guess which podcast it's from. That'd be a tough show. You only have like 112 choices.
Yeah. I think Vinny Paulino would definitely like that one.
That would be a fun one. All right, Missy, I'll let you go. Thanks for hopping on last minute.
No problem. I'm going to go have some dinner with my parents.
Okay. Have fun.
Have fun and have a happy birthday.
I will, as long as the Bills win. All right, let's listen to some recent reviews.
This week's review segment is brought to you by Vinny Likes Wrestling. Episode 2 is out right now, everywhere you find great podcasts. Brought to you by the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network. Here are this week's reviews from the internet. The first review is titled Review. When are you going to review Nightwave? Mersh is even more disgusting than Stuttering John. 1, 2, 3. That's a 5-star. The next review from the internet. Review titled The Greatest Podcast of All Time. Where else can you get all of your Erica Zane, Dr. Stephanie, Hot Carla news? With the bonus appearances by Vincent the Bear Paulino. Combine this with phone calls from Gary from San Diego and those weird Southerners, and you have the recipe for podcast perfection. 1, 2, 3. That's a 5-star. The final review from the internet, titled Bleh. This Carl guy sounds like his feet stink. 1, 2, 3. That's a 5-star. Better luck next week, Carl. Your average for reviews this week is 3.2 stars. The WATP review segment is brought to you by Vinny Likes Wrestling, Episode 2 out now on the Cardiff Electric Podcast Network. Also, happy birthday, Carla.
Thanks, Cardiff. Let's hit some voicemails.
Hello, this is Tucker D. calling from Florida. I need to remain anonymous, but I'm just calling to say that I really like this podcast. It helps me cope with having such a small penis. Thank you for putting this show on and making me feel better about my microphallus. This is T. Dixon from Florida.
I thought it was
signing
Tucker
off.
D.
Bye.
Huh. Now I'm confused. Now I don't know what's going on. T. Dixon sounds a lot like Cardiff to me.
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. But that was a great way to wrap up 2021. What do you say, huh? Well, we had a great night out here in the bowling lands. Sorry you didn't break 100, but you know, you did good. You did all right. Well, what do you think about next week, huh? You know, maybe next week. How about I'll let you decide where we go, okay? That's fine with me, huh? You know, hey, I'm a gentleman. I'm not pushy. Come on now. Oh, you go like apple pickers, you know. But I'm gonna let you decide. Don't worry about it, baby. All right. So we had fun, huh? Yeah. Well, let's not forget to return our shoes, okay? Make sure we don't leave the ball in the rack. We put it back where we found it, you know, for the next people that come. But I spoke too long. It said too little, I'll say. But you had many choices tonight. You chose to come listen to me ramble on in between Cardiff shows, which I appreciate. And if you're listening to this, which I hope you are, don't forget to hit the like. Maybe leave a quick comment or something. Tell a friend. You know, it doesn't hurt. You know, I mean, I try. I mean, I admit, I do try to let people know about this stuff. You know, people close to me, people, you know, that I might even share a bed with or something. You never know. Don't dox me. Don't dox me, bro. And it's hard to try, you know, introduce people to these shows. Everyone's like, well, where do you start? Where do I start listening, huh? Who do I start listening to? How about that? There's so many choices out there. But we try to make it easy for you, you know. We're gonna take it back to the beginning. And by taking it back to the beginning, maybe we'll look into somebody else starting next week. What do you think, huh? It's up to you. Listen, I'm not pushy, okay? Hey, I'm a gentleman. I could wait. I could wait, pal. You know? But, I do much appreciate everybody listening to me here, rambling on here like a madman. I know it's late. I know you got things to do, places to be. So, until we meet next time. Good you!